Hello everybody, my name is Misuro and this is Module 8, Leading the Way with a Moral Compass. So I start with my resource summary and 3 essential questions. What is a moral compass is my first question that I found all the resources tried to attempt to answer. And I found that these 3 main points kind of threaded through all of those different resources. First, the concept of a moral compass and the definition of morality are very, very simple. But what constitutes a moral compass is not. Even though you can define it, necessarily making it and remaking it and allowing it to be useful and applicable isn't necessarily the easiest thing. Everyone's moral compass is different, so it can be difficult or impossible to develop and apply a single set of moral principles to solve any ethical dilemma that all stakeholders can agree on. Everyone is different, and so everyone's moral compass is going to be different. Finally, we develop moral values that make up a moral compass during early life, through our role models, through our family, friends, and organizations. That's where our moral compasses are the basis and foundations of our moral compass actually comes from. Second, what should a moral compass do? It should utilize integrity to establish right and wrong, though establishing boundaries and moral compasses allows a person to, through establishing boundaries, and this will allow a moral compass to trust others. Also, good moral compasses puts people first when making ethical decisions, respects individual dignity, and treats everyone fairly, advocating that everyone must play by the same sets of rules, which again, those same sets of rules, uniform rules, may be difficult, if not impossible, to establish uniformly due to the fact that everyone is different. Effectively, moral compasses are used to help guide a person in making ethical and moral decisions in every ethical dilemma. Last, how to use a moral compass. All moral judgments are based on emotions, and there are 4 essential emotions that guide our moral judgment. There are self-conscious emotions that help us follow social norms, face condemning emotions that steer us in the right direction, steer us into making the right decision, praising emotions which help us act pro-socially, and most importantly, empathy, which help decrease our dehumanizing of others and therefore help us make moral ethical decisions when faced with moral conflicts and moral dilemmas. A life of integrity is led by considering the needs of others, and again, ethicality, before taking action. Kindness teaches us tolerance, and tolerance teaches us respect. And the problem is not necessarily the development of our moral compasses, which happens early in our life. It's knowing when and having the convictions to use it. Basically, the overarching idea of how to use a moral compass is to keep in mind the guiding nature of making empathetic decisions and taking into consideration the needs, wants, and differences of others. Here is my moral compass. There are 4 principles, 4 main guiding principles that I chose: responsibility, integrity, fairness, and independence. These are at the north, south, east, and west. And then I chose 4 supplementary principles and positioned them accordingly. So what I found bridged the gap between my responsibility and integrity is being honest. Honesty is a trait that helps me bridge the gap between having responsibility and integrity. What will help me make decisions with integrity and fairness would be courage. What will help me make decisions based on independence and fairness is my sense of duty. And lastly, the guiding principle that helps me act independently and responsibly is developing an overall sense of justice. So not only does my moral compass set a moral foundation using responsibility, fairness, integrity, and independence, but it also indicates the secondary traits that I'll need to help reinforce those foundational moral judgments. There's my references. And finally, my standard correlation, relevant, and reflection. In terms of my standard correlation, this project helped me increase my context knowledge by simply allowing me to read up on the nature of moral compasses, what they are good for, define them more clearly, and then finally generate my own based on those readings. It helped improve my understanding of a moral compass by delineating what it is, how it's used, how it should be applied, and then finally generating my own moral compass based on those delineations. Last, that generation of a moral compass based on those guiding principles, and it will help me become a future effective educational leader by literally creating a tool that I can use for making future ethical decisions to making moral decisions. Literally, this moral compass provides a framework for me to go off of in making future ethical decisions. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it, and smash that subscribe. Nice day. Give me a second.